How do everybody? I know I've not done a video for a while. I have had quite a bit going on my plate to focus my mental faculties into. So I've not really wanted to give much on the political front or opinions to really be able to focus my mind into what I really need to do at the moment. But having seen what's happened in the last sort of 48 hours, well, 24 hours, I felt compelled to I give some quick opinions on that. One of them being obviously the second assassination attempt at Donald Trump yesterday or last night. Crazy. I mean, that man absolutely deserves the title of Teflon Don to not only dodge a bullet, pretty much grazing his ear the first time, but to now dodge a second assassination attempt is unbelievable. And that is a situation that I do believe has been created by basically the whole Trump derangement syndrome. Let us not forget that from 2016 onwards, people were unironically calling Donald Trump Cheeto Hitler, not for mocking reasons or for the laughs, but because they genuinely believe that he is the reincarnation of Adolf Hitler. And so in the minds of some of these people, is it wrong to shoot Adolf Hitler? I do think in this day and age, to play a bit of a thought experiment, if Adolf Hitler somehow materialised, at least in a city in the United Kingdom, and somebody was to murder him, that person would definitely go to prison because our country has absolutely no discretion whatsoever on things like that. Personally, I do not believe that murdering Hitler would necessarily be a bad thing. But that's my opinion, and I'll voice it. But yeah, Donald Trump, crazy. Crazy that he survived another assassination attempt, and I can't not see him becoming president after this, after two attempts. And it just shows how insane people who oppose him actually are. You know, like they call themselves the kind people, the nice people, the understanding people, and they're the ones who basically throw the teddies out the pram and try to kill people they disagree with. You know, so let us not forget that. And it's the same with the anti-Brexit lot as well. You know, they're just anti-democratic individuals who throw a tantrum when they don't get their own way. But anyway, the other one is the ex-BBC news presenter Huw Edwards, the mega nonce of the BBC, another mega nonce of the BBC, has been given, I believe, a 6-month suspended sentence. He's walking free from court. You know, this is a man who's had the absolute worst material on his mobile phone. You know, like literally content of little boys being raped in the worst possible way. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And if this doesn't tell people what our judicial system actually thinks, nothing ever will. You know, we've seen this for decades with the industrial scale rape of Anglo-Saxon girls by Pakistani, Bangladeshi Muslim rape gangs, but overwhelmingly, obviously not exclusively, but it was disproportionately those two. And that was covered up by the police, by social services, by BBC, who refused to report on it for many, many years. And we saw many, many white working class people having their lives destroyed who tried to report on it, even being arrested by the police as being racist and bigots, being intimidated, and girls being charged as co-conspirators when they were the victims. You know, they were like 11 and 12 years old, being charged as co-conspirators. And basically calling them pimps. You know, that was the madness of that. So it really is no surprise that a high-profile journalist, well, ex-journalist such as Huw Edwards, would walk out of court. Okay, his reputation's in tatters, but why is that man not in prison? And yet you can post a mean tweet online and go to prison. You can, like the ex-police officer Harry Miller, post what the police describe as a limerick and have them turn up at your place of work to, quote-unquote, check your thinking. You know, let us not forget this. This is we are literally living in the Soviet Union right now of what is called a narco tyranny. And this is exactly what the Soviet Union did, where they would let the worst criminals walk free from court and commit the worst crimes, whilst people who were committing thought crimes would be sent off to the gulag for 10 years on gruel and hard labour. And that is exactly what we are seeing happening today in our country. And I say that not as any sort of hyperbole, but I believe that is accurate and an observable fact of reality. We are seeing countless hardened criminals being released from prison for various reasons in order to make way for thought criminals. And one of those being an individual, Natty Jade, something Natty or Natty somebody, I can't remember his full name, was involved in the manslaughter. I would consider it murder myself, but the Crown Prosecution Service, I believe, went for manslaughter instead. Served only 6 months in prison. He's been released, you know, for the murder. And I do believe that partly is because his victim was white and he's black. Now, that's my opinion. I can't prove that. I've no way of expanding upon that other than to say that is just what I observe, what I see, and what I believe to be true. And I don't, and there is very little evidence you can present to me that I think would change my mind. Although I'm not beyond changing my mind, I will be very clear on that. But I tell you what, it's going to have to be some goddamn good evidence to make me change my mind on that one. Shocking times. But I hope people see Labour for what they are, and I hope people see the judiciary for what they are, and these judges for what they are. They're a bunch of, in my opinion, non-supporting, unforgivable traitors, who are completely and utterly beyond redemption. And I think only and I do mean this in a legal and lawful sense, only by bringing around change in our political system and totally gutting the system and replacing the lot with competent individuals who hold decent morals and values will we actually start seeing change in the world. Very, very sad times that we live in. And I do feel that we are going to have to start looking at serious political parties in the future and stop voting red or blue, because we're just going to keep getting the same. And we're just going to keep getting nonsense rights put before the sensibilities of the average citizen. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Just a few thoughts on that. If you disagree with me on anything, or even if you agree with me, whatever, please do put a comment below. I love reading people's opinions. I'm not a closed book. I am happy to change my mind on things. Well, most things, I absolutely will never ever change my stance on paedophiles, and that they should be hung, drawn and quartered, in my opinion. And I mean that literally, not ironically. But anyway, last conversation for another time. But anyway, yeah, so please do comment if you do disagree with me, and or even if you don't. I love reading people's comments, and I like I say, I am willing to actually change my point of view if your debating point is strong enough. Thank you very much for your time. Take care and goodbye.